Some cheat in the customs, some rob the excise, but he who robs both is esteemed most wise. Church wardens too prudent to hazard the halter, as yet only venture to steal from the altar. But now to get gold they may be more bold, and rob on the highway since Jonathan's cold. For blues can sharp penknife has set ye at ease, and every man round me may rob if he please.
I'm a Faulkner, a shower of small tricks. Some of you might call me a sharper, or a flashman, or a conman, or even a cheat. But what I really am is an educator. Now, unlike those educators that you hire for your own little children, the phlebotomists that spend more time with a switch than they do a book, no, I teach about life. Now, I'm going to be honest about my vagaries. I'm going to cheat. But I'm going to do it in such a way that you're happy to give me your money. And we've been doing this since Eve clawed the apple from the serpent, and then mauled poor Adam into taking the blame for it, and a lesson was learned. Over here in what you call the Americas, we've been plying our trades in 1687. In Boston it were, at Captain Wing's Tavern. Well, the good captain had outfitted one of his rooms with a bunch of tables. And there one of my relatives was doing, and he was playing his games and singing his songs and telling stories, and wouldn't you know it, one of the autumn ballers from the Third Church of Boston, Samuel Sewell, if you really want to know his name, he came in and said it was somehow illegal and immoral, and shut him all down, and was going to chase my ancestor out of town, but first he made him sing a hymn, Psalm 90. Made him sing a hymn before he chased him out of... Now, I ask you, is that how good Christian folk ought to act? I think not, for all we were doing was trying for the betterment of society. Oh, yeah, the betterment of society we were. It's not my fault that after you come and play at my table and you run out of money, that you then turn around and give me your famble cheats and your wipers and tickers and your Joseph, and then go to the gold groper and lend more money from him to come back and lend more money. It's not my fault. But maybe a lesson will be learned. Oh no, it's not just the men who are doing this. Now the men do this, I will admit, and at the end of the night, the only thing they have left is their honor, and truth be told, I'm not going to let them keep that either. But no, it's the women as well. Now, if I were to move my table back into another room, a little off to the side where maybe not as many people could see, oh, the women would be there as well. The rich, the young, the old, the poor, they would all be there too. In fact, it's very popular for the widows to come around, the ones we call laced mutton. And I'll have you know that there's quite a few laced mutton in this town that invited me to their parlor and entertained their friends that night. And at the end of the night, it's all the same. Not quite all the same. For at the end of the night, they'll have their honor and their virtue. And I am being a gentleman, I will let them keep one of the two. It doesn't matter to me which one they choose, but I'll let them keep one of the two. Now say here, I'm not some tatterdemillion. I'm an honest, upright thief. I'm even married. I've got my own autumn mart. That means we were married in the church proper. She's also my sweetener. You see, what'll happen is if I'm sitting up my games, and not a lot of people will want to come over and see. Well, what she'll do is she'll wander over as if she's never met me before, and she'll play me little games, and she'll win every time she wins. It's amazing how she can do that. She wins every time. Well, once people see how easy my games are to win, they'll come over and start to play again, and she'll just kind of wander off. Well, she's going to wander over to that corner over there, and she becomes my Bo Peep. Sometimes, well, people think that I'm actually cheating, and they get a little upset. They think I'm stealing from them, and they'll call for Harmon back to come and talk to me. Well, see, once my good little wife over there is me Bo Peep, if she spies the Harmon back coming, or the bum bailiff, or what you call a constable, well, she'll cry beef to me, and that's my signal that I need to get out. So I'll take my little toys, hide them away, and go play least in sight. But if you do insist upon playing these kind of games, there's some things you should be aware of. Be very careful who you play games with. Well, there's one tiger in petticoats out there. She is so good. She can dribble a tatch right out the rattler and cog with a little finger, and you'll never know the difference. And I know this to be true because she's my own daughter. I taught her myself. But if you are looking for a boozing ken and you find yourself in a hedge tavern, beware, the sharpers in there, they are so good. Oh, they can smell the coves plump in the pockets, and the next thing you know, you're all dished up. And then you're going to the gold grouper. And you get involved in the gold grouper and he lends you money, you're going to be paying for him the rest of your life. Don't take no money from the gold grouper. And beware, because a sweetener, a sharper will use a sweetener good enough to take everything you got. Oh, they can butter Teaglinder's bubble like nothing. Still, there are some of you like you, young man. I've been watching you, and I see the look in your eye. You've got the look of boredom in your eye, and you're ready to try something new, and you're thinking to yourself, I want to be a sharper like him. Well, that could be very true. Well, you'll need some help along the way. And I could be persuaded to take you on as an apprentice. But first, there's some things you need to be learning as well. And you've got to have your own money to support yourself, because I'm not going to support you. But I tell you what I'm going to do for you. There's a rhinoceros cove I've been snouching, and it's time to make a crack at blind man's holiday. I'll use you. Right at Darkman's, you toddle over to the hedge tavern known as the Roof and Ken. There, I'll set you up with me Kate. And then you and he, well, you'll bring over to that gentry coast Ken, and when he catches a hob's head, Kate'll dupe the gigger. You budge inside, cly, nam, and clap what you can in your lore. Then up the spout, talk to the Deucevel. There, York me, will tip the coal of the Adam Tyler, and I'll tip you in for your trouble. Then you can come to my table, try your hand at my games, and you'll learn a very important lesson there. Now, for the rest of you, I know you're all sitting thinking to yourself, this has been such a fine conversation we've been having. And I feel so friendly and good. Christopher's such a lovely man. Well, the next time I see Christopher at the table, well, I'll just come over and I'll sit down beside him and I'll take off my coat and I'll put up my shoes and I'll get a drink and we'll just talk the night away. Well, here's the lesson you need to be learning. You need to be learning it well. I'm not your friend. I'm not your neighbor. I'm not your brother. I snooch you at my table and you taking off your Joseph and putting up your stampers, grabbing a chatter brew and thinking we're going to cut bean wedges. No. For the truth is very simple. You've got what I want, and I'm going to get it.
I've passed dirty houses and bought dirty lands. Some to steal from my charity think it's no sin, which at home says the Proverbs us always began. But if ever you be assigned a trustee, treat not orphans like masters of the chancery, but take to the highway more honestly wise. For every man round me may rob if he please, for blues can sharp penknife has set ye at ease. And every man round me may rob if he please.